positive vibrations, and good day to everybody. This is Major with Major TV in conjunction with news, facts, and comments. I have my lovely host, Cody Tamore. How you doing, sister?
I am doing fantastic. Great to be here. This is an excellent topic. Ready and eager to get into it.
We want to thank everybody viewing. Please like and share this live. We're about to talk about something very, very important for a lot of our people that have our money in the banks. And this time we're talking about are the banks stealing money from you? Cody brought it to my attention a few days ago, and I was a victim of it myself. We was talking about it behind the scenes. She was surprised to know I was a victim also. But let's talk more about it, Cody. Can you share with the audience your reasons and why we should talk about this?
Right. So a couple of days ago, I was scrolling through IG and I came across Jamal Green's Instagram post. Now, for y'all that don't know, Jamal Green was someone that ran for public office, but he attempted to go into the bank. And I'm gonna go ahead and share the screen so you can see what happened in his case. We could read that together, and then we could go through a couple of the comments that that he got in response to his post. So he said, pissed, y'all, why a bank froze one of my accounts today? They didn't know who they were messing with. She said she froze it because she wants to ask questions about my money and who I'm giving it to. I explained I'm under construction. These are contractors. I said, I said, do you not see names like plumbing on the checks? She then proceeded with a large attitude and said, I searched the address and it looks like a residential building. I said, ma'am, it's commercial. She then pushed back saying, are you building on it? Because it looks residential. I said, ma'am, how are you going to tell me about a building I own? Then she proceeds to tell me how I needed to provide her documentation of every transaction. I said, ma'am, you are talking to me like I'm doing something illegal, right? So she said, not, it's like he said, so I'm doing something illegal, not like I'm a customer, and it's about to piss me off. What documentation do you need? So that's what he said in a nutshell. I'm trying to get to the next page. So then she proceeds to tell me how I needed to provide her documentation of every transaction. So she says, I need a contract for all of your contractors to verify you're doing business with them. Full stop. I said, you are out of your mind if you think I'm going to show you my business where I'm using my money. These banks have no authority to ask you about your money. Don't stand for it. The lady hung up on me after she told me see that she has a right to ask because I'm using their service. But I told her she can feel free to close the account and get all my money ready to go to another bank so I can use theirs. And he says, I'm so pissed. So, Major, I I was just floored by the fact that this lady asked him to provide a list of all of his transactions and who he's doing business with, and she even went so far as to do research to try to find out where he was doing business at. Like I don't think they own the mortgage to the property. So for her to go through all of that trouble to find out where he's actually building and what is it, residential or is it commercial, I thought she was doing the most, bro. And that's what sparked my interest in it. Is like, wait, how many other people are going through this with these banks in these days, considering the new regulations that was imposed on them during the whole bank closure deal during the spring, when we're gonna talk about that. But they're kind of like out of control now. What do you think?
I take a few things from it. For one, melanated people have always been targeted in banks, right? And whenever there's a large amount of money, I'm about to trip you out. With the brother who did the and we can pull up his on the news and everything. With the brother, the Black Panther, the director,
What about him? I can't call his name
he
though.
was at Bank of America, I believe, in Cobb County, predominantly white. He went to the bank and they refused. They wound up calling the police on him because he was trying to get a large amount of money out. I think it was no more than 10,000 though. I'm trying to think of the brother's name. The director of. I can pull it up, but
Oh, it's Ryan Coogler.
yeah, Ron Kugel. Yeah, it's in Atlanta news and everything. It made news out here. That's
Oh, okay.
also
That happened in 2022. I got the article right here.
yes. You can share it with everybody. In this case, you don't have to read it because they can go look it up like you did, right? In this case, director Ryan Coogler, who probably known for Black Panther, um he recently did Apollo Creed, I think 5. He directed or whatnot. He was part of the producing side and whatnot. Michael B. Jordan directed, right? He was one of the executive producers. Well, anyway, this brother here went to the bank and attempted I think they get 10,000 out. That can be corrected on that, and they call the police on him. And this brother is doing multi-million dollar movies, right? So he has a bank, right? He also was a director of Fruitville, where he first hooked up with Michael B. Jordan. So he got history in Hollywood, got a name, very popular. You know what I'm saying? On movie industry, right? A growing new director, producer, what have you. And he was targeted. So going back to my original statement, melanated people are targeted everywhere, right? But when it comes to the banks, they deal with that money, they automatically become super, super suspicious about us. Hotels too, I experienced it myself. So I'm gonna say this: there's supposed to be some kind of transparency with the banks and what have you to cut down, because in their defense, there's a lot of fraudulent stuff that do go on that they be trying to save their investments. Because when you put money in the bank, you invest in the bank whether you know it or not. I don't care if it's safe as checking. They refunding your money and they putting it somewhere. That's why they be trying to encourage you to keep the money in the bank account. But with the recent news of people depositing less and with banks closing, because when they say, well, a lot of people not going to branch, they're dealing with online. Well, what they're trying to really say is they're not saying that, but we gotta read between the lines. They're really trying to cut costs because that's overhead with all the different branches. We got to read between the lines. We can't be gullible. You know what I'm saying? And like, you look out for the person. No, it's to get cutting costs, overhead expenses with having a brick and mortar, employees that's working and whatnot, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So they cutting costs, and then with the bricks appearing to become a big threat for United States in reference to underscoring the dollar standard and whatnot, and then other countries journey, we're dealing with a situation that way deeper than the little things we be arguing about in our community. You know what I'm saying? We dealing with some real deep stuff. So banks taking our money is something that and I'm gonna be honest with you, it's something that they do in the interest of them and only them. It's not really about us. And if we don't read them contracts, if we don't know our consumer rights and everything, FDIC and this, that, and other, and different regulations they got in place, which I feel like the banks control them and politicians, right? But still, this would have rules in place. This will continue to happen, but I'm not surprised, sister.
Right. So like that article that we were talking about earlier with the sister that got the $30,000 grant. Can we go through that to that article? Because that's just recently, and that happened in Houston. And it's like backdrop, make a long story short, but we're gonna get into the article right in detail. Go ahead, Major. Just go ahead and run the article.
Okay. U.S. banks are abruptly freezing accounts. How can you save your money?
That's the same. That's the wrong one. We want
That's
the one.
One?
Yeah, we want the one with the lady from Houston. Small business owner locked out of bank account.
All right, I see it right here. Sorry about that.
That's all right. You good?
It's on the screen.
Let me see.
Yep,
that's it right there. We may be able to play the video. and see what's happening.
Small business owner says that she was on a high after winning a $30,000 check.
But now she's had that feeling just ripped out from underneath her after the bank froze her account. Liliana Pearson is live with the story. Liliana, what exactly happened here?
Well, Natasha Galloway tells me that she waited months to find out if she was going to be the recipient of a small business grant. She says she felt on top of the world when she finally found out in October that she was. But she says now, instead of investing that $30,000, she's now locked out of her account. In May, Natasha Galloway, owner of BB Fly Trucking, applied for a Greater Houston Community Foundation grant. After months of waiting, the good news came in this email on September 29th.
I can pay my truck off, and then I wanted to buy a trailer and then buy commercial property so that I can park my equipment on it.
On October 25th, Galloway got the check and brought it to her local Regions Bank branch. She took out about $500 that day, and the rest she was told would be made available on November 3rd. Then she was told her check was suspicious. They needed 3 months to investigate and froze the entire business account.
It shouldn't take that long to verify a check.
In a statement from the Greater Houston Community Foundation, they confirm Galloway was a recipient and say they confirmed with Regions Bank on November 6th the check was legit. But Galloway says she's still unable to access any of the funds in that account.
I asked them that question too. I said, why are y'all freezing my account? What is the reason? And they just said it's because of this check. It's suspicious.
Galloway says she was told the investigation would take 90 days. That's time she doesn't have. Without access to the check, she says one of her 3 trucks was repossessed, setting her back.
I'm sitting there looking at it every day. I'm like, wow, there's money sitting right there and I cannot touch it.
And in a statement from Regions Bank, they told us that they're unable to discuss individual clients' banking information, but said that they will look into this investigation. Galloway telling us she's frustrated to know this headache is now going to stretch into the new year. I'm Liliana Pearson, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
So as you can see, that was totally messed up. And now her truck is going to be repossessed. And the only thing they can tell her is that, oh, well, the check looks fraudulent. And even after the people already said, no, this is a good check. We issued the check. It's a good check. They still like, nah, you can't have your money. Wait till we finish our investigation. What exactly are you investigating? That would be my question.
Sadly, banks for years have been doing this. I wish I'd have covered this, but next time Clive come back on a channel, I want to talk about it. People gotta understand how wicked banks have been, and why Abe Lincoln had a big issue with them in the 1800s, right? Because there was so much fraudulent stuff going on. Banks was creating money out thin, and they were doing all kinds of stuff, right? And he fought with them before he became president, and it trickled down and fell up on Roosevelt. And we got to understand how banks been working, the history of it. You know, so when we talk about buying gold and how sniffing gold was back then, and how Clive spoke recently last week about they make it sound like, ooh, it's a crazy thing to talk about buying gold. But we forgot the value of gold. And I did agree with Clive that we was more educated back then than we are now. The propaganda that's spewing out community, things that we talk about, things we entertain, things we think we know, we really don't be having a clear understanding of what's going on. But going back to what the situation with the young lady, this is another oversight, another overreach, and now they're gonna bring her through. They're gonna bring her through the hurdles, right? And when you're talking about, like you was talking about, going there illegally, you can't do it by yourself because, for one, the banks got it, whereas you can't sue for so much, and then sometimes you get expensive with legal fees.
But and I'm glad you brought that up, because a lot of people go in there and they open up accounts. So you trust in this individual institution to hold your money, your hard-earned money, and then down at the bottom of the contract in very fine print, they tell you, no, you can't sue us, but we'll go to arbitration with you. Right? So you have no other recourse than to just file. You could just file a complaint if you feel like you've been harmed. But then how long does that take? You know, and then not everybody is savvy with filling out forms in order to file a complaint. It's not as just easy as 1, 2, 3. Say I'm gonna file a complaint. You got to have mitigating circumstances, right? You have to tell them, explain to them in language that they understand why you've been harmed and what your harm is. You know, and then 9 times out of 10, they're gonna take a long time and run you around the world to put, you know, file motion after motion after motion before you can even get a judgment. And in the meantime, in between time, you out of your funds, you have creditors, you know, charging you late fees, and it may make it hard for you to even, you know, go to another bank to open up another account. That may not even be an option, because if they're gonna be like, well, why this bank got your account froze? You know what I mean? Because they all work in conjunction together. Like, they know if you owe a substantial amount of money to a bank, they can pull it up and see that you owe them, and they'll then sometimes deny you another account just because of the relationship you have with this bank, even though it may be, you know, you may be going through arbitration with them or whatever. You just basically stuck waiting at the whim of when they're gonna decide that they're gonna give you justice or not. Sometimes you might lose your whole account if they find that you was doing fraudulent activity. And I think they just have too much discretion in this hour. That's what I'm saying. Like judges and cops, the banks got too much discretion, especially with your hard-earned money. That's messed up. Imagine going to the bank and saying you want to make a withdrawal, and they're telling you no because we suspect something fraudulent going on with your account. That was the case of Jamal Green, and that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. So a lot of people might be wondering, okay, so what does the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation do, and what's their role? So if you want me to, Major, I could just like give a brief definition about how the FDIC has how they play a part in this, or if they don't play a part. You know, let's get a definition of the FDIC.
All right, before I do that, I want to say this too. It should have happened to a lot of people. It happened to me a bunch of times. It is not just the banks. It's MoneyGram, Cash at Western Union. All of them are part of it. And like I told you, I lost like 10,000 like 10 years ago. It was longer than I think 15 years ago. Got caught up transforming, and I still haven't gotten them money. I don't care how much proof I sent them. They always was trying to say they need more information, no more information. So there's really a bigger problem when we're talking about it, especially in our community. But let me pull it right now.
And then, so this another thought that just came to my mind. We're making deposits into all of these banks, and they're supposed to be holding it in trust for us. But then at the same time, they're making loans based on your deposits. They're actually loaning out money based on your deposits, and that's like you ain't even get my permission to make money off of my money, and they give you like cents on the dollar as far as dividends and returns. But go ahead, Major, run that article.
The federal this right here, I got this off the internet. You talking about the one that was in the email?
Yeah, no. That's good. That's just give us a basic definition of what the FDIC is.
All right, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, FDIC, is a United States government corporation supplying deposit insurance to depositors in America, commercial banks, and savings banks. The FDIC was created by the Banking Act of 1933 and acted during the Great Depression to restore trust in the American banking system. More than 1/3 of banks failed in the years before the FDIC's creation, and bank runs were common. The insurance limit was initially $2,500 per ownership category, and this has been increased several years over the years. Since the enactment of the Dodd-Frank Wall Street Reform and Consumer Protection Act in 2010, the FDIC insures deposit member banks up to $250,000 per ownership category. FDIC insurance is backed by the full faith and credit government of the United States, and according to FDIC since it started in 1933. No deposit ever lost a penny of FDIC insured funds. Stop right
I
there.
know.
Keep on.
Yeah, no, let's look at that part right there, that last sentence. That last FDIC insurance is backed by the full faith and credit of the government of the United States. Now we all know that the whole premise behind the debt ceiling and all like that is based on the United States credit rating in the world. They're actually rated. Why they're rated? Because they're actually a corporation. So they have a number on Moody's, like, right? So their credit rating is always being threatened to be lowered, right? Because of their outstanding debt. So how much of our trust we're going to put in the FDIC when the United States credit is horrible? And they say full faith and credit in the government of the United States. Full faith and credit? What? Their credit is in the toilet. So you're dependent on the FDIC to make good on your funds. If you got couple of hundred thousand, more than $250,000 in a bank right now, then they may not even cover you. Even if you have $249,000 in the bank right now, they might not even cover you. Why? Because the banks are about to be insolvent. They're about to crash. The banks don't have that money. They don't have that money. That's why they're playing games with people's account, freezing their account, because the FDIC wants them to have a certain amount of money on the books, liquid access, liquid cash on the books at any given time. And so if they know that their number has been called, then of course they might freeze a whole bunch of people's accounts and say, hey, whoa, you can't take no money out here right now until after we meet this deadline reporting that they have to report to the FDIC. We got one of them articles too that talks about that. It is crazy. You just have to sit back and think about, like, why, when you think about why they're freezing people's account, they're freezing your accounts and using your account to account for, they're using your accounts to account for the money that they have to have in the institution to justify the amount of loans that they're making on your money. So in other words, you put $50,000 in the bank, they may hedge your $50,000 and give somebody else $100,000 loan. Yes.
And also, I want to say this, in the same breath that they talked about the reason why they started FDIC, because banks was going out of business and whatnot and wasn't regulated properly, I guess, and implying that, right? Banks since then still have been going out of business and currently are going out of business, so it still haven't been working. But here's the article that she's talking about. U.S. bank witness whopping $1 billion deposit drop in just 3 weeks. Fed survey raises alone. That's what Cody was just talking about. Is that the video right there, Cody, or they got a video on it, or you want me to read it?
Yeah, read that article. Well, let's see what they're going to say.
Ryan, I think you guys were doing some traveling as well. Where are you going to be doing Thanksgiving this year?
Well, I mean, I'm based in Geneva, so we I hate to say it, skip Thanksgiving. It's just a time for me to catch up on emails.
Right.
So, and I'm Canadian by.
I think I do have a video that talks about that, but yeah, just run it right now.
Okay. All right. Let me see, because this thing didn't. I blow the screen up, and I'm gonna just take it off and redo it again, because
while you're doing that, I'm gonna play this quick video right quick.
All right, it's up. Whenever you're ready, let me know.
All right, let's play this quick video right quick.
All right.
So fair use. This is our commentary on this video. Fair use. No copyright claims. Let's go.
If this is just commercial real estate, we have to look at how do banks make money. They make money by lending, taking consumer deposits and lending it out, right? They make money by lending that money out. But deposit at FDIC insured banks fell almost $100 billion in quarter ended in June 30th. after a record $472 billion decline in the first quarter amid the banking crisis. Declines were mostly driven by uninsured deposits or those exceeding the FDIC's $250,000 insurable limit. So, banks have less money today than ever before, right? They have less money to lend out. They have consumers that can't qualify for a lot of these loans. Consumers are in worse positions than they've been in a very, very, very long time. And a lot of loans that they've been issuing are not performing like they intended. For example, car payment defaults hit 29-year high as borrowing costs surge. Came up 10 days ago, right? 11 days ago. So the car payments are doing really, really bad. The commercial real estate loans are doing very, very poorly. A lot of credit card delinquencies are on subprime borrowers, which is unfortunately most of the market. So you're looking at one loss after the next. But look at this. So higher loan loss provisions demonstrate credit quality concerns at U.S. banks. This came out about a month ago. With the Federal Reserve, the Fed's dramatic cycle of monetary tightening still not over, and the threat of the U.S. entering a recession later this year or in 2024, many people would say we're in a recession now, U.S. banks continue to allocate even greater provisions to address potential loan losses. In so doing, there's a widespread acknowledgement that further credit deterioration is coming. The largest of American banks, nonetheless, reported strong earnings for the second quarter, demonstrating how beneficial higher interest rates have been proven to be in bolstering lending activity and net interest margins. But with the expiration of the raft of government-backed measures that supported vulnerable households and businesses during the pandemic, threatened a seismic wave of loan defaults, lenders are becoming increasingly concerned about how adversely those rising interest rates are impacting borrowers. The central bank continues to struggle to bring inflation down to its formal target of near 2%. Inflation is not going to 2%. Inflation is only going to continue to rise. If you look at the stats, you look at really what's going on, the facts behind the chain of events that are unfolding with energy prices.
So if y'all want to hear the rest of that article, by all means, go to that channel. It's on the screen. But what I want to say, what was really shocking is that it goes back to what I said before. They want us to put our full faith in what they got going on, but the credit is horrible, and the banks are using your money to hedge against making these irresponsible loans to these big corporations, and that's the whole problem. Earlier in that video, that guy showed how these corporations would take out loans for commercial properties in the tunes of millions of dollars and then sell it for more than half or more than less than half of what they paid for it. Like you, if for example, you invested in a $250 million property and then sell it for $89 million. That bank is left holding that bag. That's bad debt on their books. And so it's situations like that we have that hurts the little guy in the meantime, because the feds is like, okay, we got to do something about these higher prices. But in my mind, I'm thinking, whoa, he was like, too many people are gaining equity in their homes and gaining equity and getting high returns on their dividends from the money that they stashed up in these banks. So he said, hold up, too many people are getting rich. Let's raise the interest rate to stop these people from obtaining all of this wealth and just holding on to it. We need to get that wealth moving. So you raise the rates, the banks make more money off the interest rates, and then now here we are with talking about recession. I don't know if I'm making sense, but
you make it
like
sense.
That's the whole recession, raising the interest rates is a whole Ponzi scheme to get more money out of the borrowers, because we were winning with the low interest rates, especially in the mortgage industry.
I mean, what's so crazy when they say they create recessions? They overflow with fiat currency, right? To stimulate buys to consumers, people like you and I, to spend our money to keep the economy and businesses going, right? And then when things being reversed and slows down, then they gotta mess the interest rates and this, that, and other. They're kind of like bring some kind of balance, but they're the one who be playing those games, right? And because we're dealing with fiat currency and a petrodollar, you know what I'm saying? And we deal with all these other countries that we've been battling for so long for power, you know what I'm saying? And we find out about the gold, how significant it is and whatnot. It's just making it so hard for the little person like you and I to just make it and to make common sense out of it. A lot of us are not deep into what we're talking about. We just living day to day, but this is a good conversation.
All right, yeah, go ahead with that article you had pulled up.
That's you want to. That's basically the same thing. I'm gonna share it. It's basically the same thing, really, but I'm gonna share it.
Oh, did you say that's basically what the
That's basically the same. That's basically the same thing. That's basically the same thing he's saying about the 100 million they lost within 3 weeks. It would have you went to break and all that down. I think it was more detailed in reference to talking about the auto industry, auto payments, mortgage, and all that stuff, and then what have you. And then people not depositing more. But if you want, I can read it out if you want me to.
No, let's go on to the next one when they say, the bank's freezing a record number of accounts and how you can stop them from freezing yours. I think instead of, we don't want to just bring you the bad news. We want to try to give you a way out, like suggest a way out. I'm not a financial guru. Neither is Major. I don't have I'm not an accountant, not a certified public accounting, and neither is Major. But what we want to do is bring attention to the situation and then give you options. Like you have choices, right? I sometimes say like, well, dang, should I just take all my money out of the bank and just invest in gold? But then how are you going to be able to transact business? Because nowadays everything is done online. I can't remember the last time I wrote a check other than an e-check. I could write e-checks from my business account. But as far as like a personal check, when the last time you wrote a personal check, you swiping your debit card for everything. So it's kind of hard to say, I'm going to just deal in gold because nobody is trading in gold. Everything is being done online with that digital currency. So we kind of we have to be smart. And so hopefully this article will give you an idea of how you can be smart with your money, whether it be diversifying or what have you. So you got that article ready?
No, we about to do the intermission first.
All right.
Everybody know we announced before, we announce it again. Before I play the article, we want to let you know that News, Facts, and Comments is in conjunction with Major TV, and we're here to bring the latest news, breaking news, commentary, interviews, everything. We even trying to network behind the scenes, start some black investment groups and what have you. Me and Cody been doing a lot of things behind the scenes, but before we talk about all that, we got to finish this program. But let me play this intermission right quick. Good day, positive vibration. This is Major TV of Major TV. Let's talk.
And I'm a Cody Speaks of News, Facts, and Comments.
Cody and I met on social media in search of like-minded individuals. Now we merged together and to present to you
New Black Media. We are leading by example,
showing the people how working together can be beneficial.
We are committed to highlighting the positive aspects of our community,
as well as addressing the issues that plague our nation of people.
We are coming together to provide solutions to problems in support of our followers.
So follow us on YouTube at Major TV Let's Talk and News, Facts, and Comments.
Join us as we discover the joy that comes with community building.
Please subscribe to Major TV Let's Talk, News, Facts, and Comments, YouTube, or Cody Speaks, YouTube, Generational Wealth, YouTube. We are really trying to bring real content. We're trying to make ideas a reality, not just talking, but behind the scenes doing it. When we're doing it, we don't always televise and talk about it. We're not trying to do this for clout or followers or what have you. We're doing it to help you.
Right, exactly.
So, not this one. It's the one dealing with the U.S. banks, the BSA.
Yeah, that one.
All right.
U.S. banks abruptly freezing accounts. Here's how you can save yours.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was the comments in the comments on Instagram after Jamal Green posted his post and his frustrations with his bank. Man, just blew my mind. But a lot of people had a lot of good ideas, like going to dealing with, instead of dealing with commercial banks, deal with federal credit unions. But then I read earlier today that that may not even be an option anymore because the smaller banks might go down faster than the big banks. That's just what I read. You know what I mean? So let's go ahead on with this account.
Okay. U.S. banks are abruptly freezing accounts. Here's how you can save yours. Customers are increasingly finding their accounts closed by banks eager to avoid regulatory scrutiny. According to a New York Times report by Ryan Lieber, banks are proactively closing accounts without notice, leaving customers stranded without access to their funds, often for extended periods. Banks like JP Morgan Chase and Bank of America use sophisticated systems to detect illegal activities, but these systems are often sensitive and can misinterpret ordinary customer activities as suspicious. As a result, customers need to manage their accounts carefully to avoid being falsely flagged as engaged in illegal activities. To avoid such mishaps, it's advisable to maintain a consistent pattern in our banking transactions. According to Lieber, a predictable flow of income and expenses can help you clear your bank's radar. Furthermore, when opening a bank account, make a large initial deposit can be a red flag since banks may take an account once, employing the arrest record to determine whether the deposit is suspicious. While incidents of mail theft and fraudulent check rising, banks have responded, also tightening their fraud detection algorithms. To minimize your risk, consider limiting your checks and be mindful of how you mail them. If necessary, opt more for secure methods like taking them directly to the post office. Lieber also noted that it is important to understand that what could trigger a bank's suspicion. For example, the American Bankers Association identifies certain cash transactions as red flags, consistently making cash deposits of just under $10,000 to avoid legal reporting requirements can mark your account as suspicious. More importantly, communicating significant financial changes to your bank can be particularly beneficial. Lieber said, I think I pronounced the last name right. In the event of account closure, Lieber said it is important to stay calm and approach the situation rationally. If available, you should try to visit a bank branch and discuss the issues politely. Emotional outbursts or aggressive behavior are unlikely to resolve the issue and may escalate the situation.
So that really didn't tell you nothing much, but just to go talk to the same people who trying to keep you from accessing your funds. Did you notice how they said that, a felony record could throw up a red flag if you all of a sudden start depositing large amounts of cash? So my thing is this: number one, what do they consider a large amount of cash? Because, for myself, I don't have a felony record, but I work in real estate, so my commissions checks usually are more than $5,000. You know what I'm saying? Round about that. You know what I mean? So if I get a commission check, let's say $6,000, and I make that deposit, are you gonna look at me strange? Like, are you gonna actually run a background check on me? You gonna actually go in my file and say, hey, does she have a criminal record? And do I give you permission to run a criminal background check on me when I open up a bank account? I don't remember reading that in the fine print, but that's what that article just said, that having a felony record, a criminal background could throw up a red flag when you start making large deposits. That's just something for us to think about. I just got questions. Do we give them permission to run a criminal background check on us when we open up a bank account? Do you ever remember seeing that, Major, in the contract?
No, I don't. That's the first time I heard that, but I'm gonna let you know a lot of our experience, right? And the advice they're giving is true. If you know you're going out of town, let them know if you make a large purchase. Because see, is the algorithm they was talking about, right? If you make a commission, for example, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, that ain't that won't trigger nothing. But let's say you deposit like 10,000 or better, that'll trigger. See, every week we get paid every 2 weeks, or we deposit money every day. We dealing with computers now. We dealing with computers, and they follow an algorithm. You know what I'm saying? And like just like the stock market drop, it triggers, or it go up, it triggers. So that's the same thing. Stock market number the computers neither, right? But once it triggers, humans see it and they respond. And in most cases, it's already flagged. So as soon as it trigger a high deposit, the computer automatically put a stop in your account, put a hold on your account. Then when they're in front of it, they'll text you or call you. They'll communicate you too. They'll text and call you. And I ain't gonna lie, in fairness, because of fraud being so high now, that's a safety that they're trying to put in it. You know what I'm saying? To avoid that. But at the same time, it's at the mercy of you being in a destitute situation where you need your money, you can't get it because they flagged it, right? So for me personally, it's a system set up that's supposed to benefit us. But the advice they're giving, I was told that a long time ago, and I advise everybody, definitely. If you know you about to deposit a large amount of money, or especially you out of town or whatever, and you know anything above 10,000, they're gonna report to the fast. So they're definitely gonna try to like I deposit like over I don't know $500. Like I said, I do like an online deposit. They'll hold a few days to verify, as opposed to if I submit $100 or something like that. I want to say something.
Yeah, so I can recall one time I went in there with a large check, but I had tens of thousands of dollars in my account. And I just had this one little measly $3,500 check. And I said, I don't want to deposit it. I want to cash it. And it was like, no, we can't cash it. Even though I had the $3,500 in my bank account and more, they said, no, we can't cash it. We can't give you all of it right now. We could give you some of it. And then in 3-5 business days, you can get the rest. And I'm like, wait, but I already have $3,500 in my account. I just want to cash this check. It was like, no, you can't cash it.
Because they got to verify. That's like you go to check casting page. Before they catch the check, they verify and they calling. That's just the verification part. And they don't want to hand your money against it. They want your money and that money. But so
exactly. That's my whole thing right there.
So like first let's get 3,500. 3,500 go bad. They still got
it right there. They still got it right there because it's in my account. Right?
I know, but they're trying to make money. So they still losing $3,500. You know what I'm saying?
Business.
How they probably thinking. That is bad business.
It's like, okay, so in all actuality, we're loaning them money. We're loaning them money because they're taking out money and hedging it against other loans and on the stock market. They're a corporation, so they rated on the stock market just like you, and based on what? The liquid cash deposits. That's why all of them about to go out of business because nobody's depositing their money no more.
Because of check fraud, you gotta realize that's because of check fraud, though. That was not in fairness. That's because of check fraud, because check fraud is big. So I get what you're saying. But if you had a bank, you would probably have that same thing in place. You're gonna say cash no check without verifying it. That's why I give you some of it to verify.
To me, it's okay. So I used to work at a credit union, right? So to me, it's like when you get that check as a banking institution, if it's a large amount, you can tell that customer, hold right there. Let's go to the bank, get on the phone and call that institution and verify if the funds is there. I used to get the
bank tellers since 1928, man. They ain't
say what? Say again? What? What's so funny? I'm like, you can call it. You
can working the bank since 1928.
I'm not that old, but it was the 1900s when I worked in the bank. Okay, but what I'm saying is, they could verify. They could call the people and verify. Hey, is this check good? Is the money in the account? Is this check good? They could do that, and it don't take no whole lot of time because it's not like they don't
do that no more.
But they should. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
That's what they should.
Everything fast now. That's slow. You know that's slow. Only you get that done, you gotta go talk to the bank manager. You have to literally pull somebody on the side or go sit down with one of the people to do it because they won't do it behind that desk. You already know that. They won't do it. The tellers won't do it.
Hey, bro. I literally closed my account, and when I closed my account, I say I want to talk to your bank manager because they wouldn't cash my name. I'm the owner of the company. The contractor wrote the check out to me in my personal name, and they're like, no, we can't cash this check because it's not written to the business. What? I own the business. I got my ID here. You got the paperwork that I signed with my same signature on when it says, because that's what they require. You can't just say Tamara Singleton, Tamara's Realty. You have to put down who owns Tamara Realty. So you can verify everything's right there in her computer. You're gonna tell me you can't cash, you can't take this check. And I wasn't even trying to cash it. I was trying to deposit it. They said you can't even, I couldn't even deposit it because it was written out to me, my government name, rather than my business name. That's the kind of foolery we deal with. And at that point, I told them, I said, don't worry about it. Close all my accounts. And I had 3 accounts there, 2 check-ins, 1 savings, and it was like $75,000. Run me my money. When that bank manager came, she was somewhere else. She had to literally come from my house. And I sat there and I waited till she came. And when she got that, she was trying to talk me out of not taking my $75,000. I told me, run me my money. I want my money. And I got my money. It was Chase Bank. I'm going to just go ahead and say it. Chase Bank. I got my $75,000 out of that account. Oh, yes, I did.
Yeah, I mean, they're very technical. They're very, very technical. That happened before too. No, and then that's she just shared some wisdom with you. Do not have no business check written out in your name unless you got understood that the bank gonna cash, because that happened to me before. If my transportation comes, McCool Transportation is for that, and it's in Major Davis' name, they won't accept that check.
Oh no, but guess what? All I did was change the way I did business, doing business as myself. That's what I did. Do have another DBA, doing business as myself. So, and have that on record with the bank. So there's no denying me depositing money into my business account. But I thought that was crazy as heck, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. These banks are technical, but y'all have to realize there's a lot of transparency and accountability goes on in them banks. And them tellers, them people behind the counters, nobody want to get fussed at by the manager or whatnot, you know. So if it's in fine print to do X, Y, Z, or what have you, that's the way it has to be done. Even though I know they could still take it, but you have to talk to some kind of manager. Them people behind the counter, they're not gonna do that. The representatives or the bank tellers or whatnot, they're not gonna really do that. But getting back to our discussion at hand, and then going back to something you said about, you know, what we gonna do, and we just can't have all gold. You can't trade gold. You have to learn how to diversify. Too much of anything is bad, but you gotta know what's good and what's not so good. It's the most important or least important priority list, right? Assets should be the most important because we're dealing with fiat currency. The US dollar is fake. It's nothing backing it. You know what I'm saying? I owe you, what have you, and whatnot. You know, the petrodollar, whatever. But you want to have property. You want to have land. You want to have gold. You want to invest in businesses, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I'm saying? If you want to invest in the stock market, it's kind of risky. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I definitely recommend investing in gold and whatnot and take advantage of this. I mean, because when you buy businesses, a lot of times you can buy the land and all that. And when you know about the history of McDonald's, the biggest thing that they pushed was it wasn't just about McDonald's, about the location, it was about real estate and so forth, so on, right? So we, like I said, unfortunately, our community have been very tunnel vision because the leadership, I think, after a lot of our great leaders have fell and faded or not communicated a certain way to our community. We have really got very narrow in our view and thinking, right? You know, we'll say, well, we got to do this and we got to do that, but we don't do it ourselves. You can't tell somebody to do something, you're not doing it. It don't go like that. You know, so for me, I feel like diversifying should always be number one. You know, they talk about diversifying with stocks, whatever. That's different. That's paper. That's different. I'm diversifying. I'm talking about whole assets. You know what I'm saying? And you definitely have a little cash for emergency. You got to have a little cash. You know what I'm saying? Until the dollar just evaporate, no more. Keep you some cash. I ain't gonna say a whole lot, but they say normally you should have 3 to 6 months living expenses. You know what I'm saying? Come all your bills that month, right? I mean, for 1 month. If it's like 5,000, you want 15,000 for 3 months. If you're doing 6 months, 30,000. You know what I'm saying? If your bill's 10,000 for 3 months, you want to have 30,000. 6 months, you want 60,000. That's how you gotta think for emergency with cash. You shouldn't have a whole lot of. If you got a whole lot of cash in the bank, you're tripping. because they're only insured the $250,000. Everything else is not insured. And after we just showed y'all how these banks are losing deposits, closing and closing it down, you shouldn't even be trusting the bank. You know, if you haven't got no land, get some land. You haven't got no property, get some property. You haven't have no business, start a business. You know, and I ain't gonna lie, running a business is not easy. So I'm not gonna tell you rush out there and get a business. You might have to take some courses. You might have to follow somebody toolish or what have you, and then find out what's trending, or find out if you could be a trendsetter and do something different. But know when you start something that's booming, the big people watching and other people, they're gonna definitely try to steal an idea and make it flourish more like Walmart and Amazon, all them doing, putting a lot of business out, putting a lot of small business out of business.
Right. Well, with that, Major, like let's go through the comments and see what our other brothers and sisters have to say about this. Have a few people in the chat. We want to say thank y'all for joining us and participating. You know what I mean? We really appreciate y'all. We want to know. We don't want y'all to just know how we feel. We want to know how y'all feel. Because, like, am I tripping, or does it feel like they're just taking advantage of us in our hard-earned dollars and then controlling how we use it? Like for instance, they tell me you have a limit of $5,000 on your business account, but on your personal account, you can only spend $1,500 a day. $5,000 a day on business account, $1,500 a day on your personal account without their approval. You have to like call in to let them know you're gonna spend more than $5,000. Why? When my money is there. That's crazy. But go ahead.
Yeah, but again, I gotta say it's in their defense because of fraud. You know, I just hate to say it. Like, I mean, I'm just saying because there has to be some kind of transparency. I'm not on the side of the banks because the banks do a lot of illegal stuff. They do a lot of things that's not right. You know, and yes, they are stopping us from using our money how we want because they're trying to invest it and do all this other stuff. So I might take back my statement a little bit. But I think Gary said earlier the week when we first dropped his live, he said, yes, banks are stealing your money. Thanks for sharing that. Miss Watch, men in the building, she said, yes, they are. Miss Shirley Baker come through. How you doing, Shirley? Salute the family. AL and C. Yeah. Miss Watch come back and say, I'm currently having a frozen account and no one will help. Cody and I are here. You can email Cody at codyspeaks@gmail.com or maybe team let's talk at gmail.com. We might share some things with you and what have you. But you definitely should reach out to a local attorney that they got free attorneys, what have you, depends on how much money you have. You can really get a free attorney or get some kind of advice too. But if you want to access, we probably can shoot you in the right direction too. But I'm sorry to hear that.
Let me just tell Ms. Watchman, like, if you are experiencing that right now, they say to file a complaint. File a complaint, get it on their radar so that you can go to arbitration. Can you sue a bank? No, because it's probably in the fine print that you can't sue them. You have to go to arbitration and this, that, and the third. But you can, if you feel like there's some illegalities going on, you can definitely file a complaint. And I can send you that article that talks more about that as well.
And she said, I can't close the account till they release my funds. I definitely agree, ma'am. Definitely listen what Cody just said and go on Google some stuff, make some phone calls. You can take action. And again, I'm sorry for not announcing that we are very delighted and happy that you are here. Please like and share. We are talking about banks banks stealing from you. I experienced it myself personally, when banks put hold on money and had me go through some hell of a stuff. But even on the road, I was in Texas stuck out. They worked. They took the whole off it, but it was crazy. I just think the discussion is much needed, and we need to understand how things are working around us. We gotta protect us and ours, because sometimes we on vacation with our family, what have you, and stuff can happen easy. You can be running your debit card with something, and a couple of transactions get caught up or rejected or whatever, and before you know, the bank put a hold on your account. Brother Key, come through. How you doing, brother? We need our own everything. Stay tuned. Organizations coming soon. Thank you, too, for bringing the news. Peace and blessings, everyone. Sister Wiseman, Sister Baker, etc. Thank you, brother, for that comment. Sister said facts. Staying back. Cody speaks. Regions is the bank that has my account frozen. Sorry.
Whoa, see, they are cutting up all around. You heard me? That's the one that took that lady. Regions Bank is the one that had that lady $30,000. Talking about her check was fraudulent. But I bet you they deposited on their asset sheet, and it shows as good funds. Man, that's messed up. It's that same bank, Regions Bank. Let's see how long it's gonna take for Region Banks to fall.
Region in Houston is very racist. We looked into open account there, but found them to be highly racist. Ignorant, unfortunate. Too many bankers are. Yes. There's no phone number to reach anyone at that location. Wow.
They really don't want to be touched. But they got a corporate office. They definitely have a corporate office.
Yeah. I mean, then you have to, you remember under the Federal Credit Report Act, under the Federal Credit Report Act, you definitely can go there and check out some things as well, the FDIC and what have you, and file complaints about the unfair price, because they're doing that. They can also try to affect your credit with some of this stuff, depending on what you're dealing with them on the credit side too. When you look at your bank checking and savings account terms, it says you and the bank have no trust relationship.
That's in that fine print. That's that fine print.
Yeah. I would not work a job that would not pay me cash besides this.
Behind this.
Wow. This.
Now, there was an article that came out too that, there was a time where there was some type of glitch with Bank of America, and Bank of America people were not able to access their payroll checks. Like there was some kind of glitch in their system. People got paid and they couldn't get their money. That's that digital banking. I'm trying to tell y'all, it ain't no good.
Too much discretion all around. Fact that whole discretion thing begin to be the new code for racism and discrimination.
Facts.
Yes, loan based on your money, decide to make plans, if any, to you.
They don't give it to you. No, they don't want to loan you the money, but they'll loan it to the big corporations. But it's your money that they're loaning. Yeah.
They explain why they never allow you to see the computer screen. Banks can't steal your money. It's not yours in the first place. You didn't create it. They did.
Well, if I didn't create it, I sure earned it. It's called a living wage. Okay. And so I don't care what you talk about. If it's my name, it's mine. Possession is 7/10 of the law. So I guess that would be right what you're saying. Once you give it to them, once you loan it to them by making a deposit, you're right. It ain't no longer yours.
If that's the case, nothing is yours.
I owe you, right?
If that's the case, nothing is yours. But I definitely don't agree with that statement. But I understand what you're trying to say and what have you. But that's the currency you under in the United States. Unless you're gonna do crypto, gold, what have you. So you got to be realistic about communicating like that with our people. Banks can't steal your money. It's not your whatever. Okay, cool. All right. Might be a troll. I don't know. Casino gamblers can win at several different casinos. Mississippi in one day chose to deposit. There's no record of the win when it's under 1,200.
That's facts.
They are stealing what you have earned.
That's right. Your hard-earned money.
Those banks are up. The banks are up to something. There have been some stories about people losing access to accounts for no reason.
Right. We reported on that.
Makia Dawson, appreciate the comment. We're going to create our own stock market. We will also invest in means of production, because when the dollar falls, we would need means of production so we can still have things we need. We need it now. I mean, like all that talk we're going to do, we need to do that now. All it got to be done now. Because a lot of us are old. We're going to be dead in a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So we need it now.
But then a lot of us are not aware that they do have black-owned banks, right?
Yeah.
But they federal, they insured by the FDIC. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know about just saying, okay, let's go to a federal, a black-owned bank. I don't know what that look like. How much control do we give them, right?
Nicola Dawson said, plus they were all strange stories about all the millions of billions that are being withdrawn from banks, but who is taking their money out? I mean, right now, we gotta. For me, I want to make a video about it. We gotta be problem solvers. You know what I'm saying? We gotta be critical thinkers. A lot of us are really not. We make decisions and stuff based upon what we know, and that's understandable. But sometimes we got to go beyond what we know and kind of really try to unravel things we don't know or don't understand. Because right now, the system we in, there's ways how we can deal with all this, right? But we got to be realistic. We is in this system, so by being in this system, we got to know how to maneuver and operate and what have you. And sometimes it's easier saying than doing, because that means that you got to know how to tell yourself no. You got to know how to tell other people no. You got to know how to be sharp and make the right investment decisions. And financial planning has not been the best thing in the Black community. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, the middle-aged community.
One thing I want to add to that is that we should definitely, if you have to use banks, don't put all your eggs in one basket. You know, have a savings account here, checking account there with a savings account, but move your money around. Don't have all your money in one institution, because that if they freeze one account, then okay, you could go ahead and still feed your family, pay your car note, whatnot from this other bank account. That's my only advice. That's what advice I have as far as moving your money around. Don't keep it all in one place.
Yeah, definitely have different banks, but just remember, banks only use for certain reasons, right? Whereas, back in the day, they keep a whole pile of money in their house. They don't do that no more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So banks are used for a reason, but it should be a temporary place to hold your money. You should be trying to get hard access, point blank. I was explaining earlier, only money you should have on there, you should have 3 to 6 months living expenses. And that's for people that know anything about financial literacy, financial planning, what have you, has 3 to 6 months living expenses. And that's the total amount of what would keep your house, would keep your everything functioning with your home, your truck note, a vehicle note, your bills, food, whatever, gas, whatever, for that 1 month. You add that up. Like I said, it's 5,000, 3 months, 15,000, 6 months, 30,000. If it's 10,000 a month, and 3 months, 30,000, 6 months, 60,000. That's how we gotta think as far as cash. This brother, Dan Dash always tell us, he said we have to think, we have to be bosses, right? And what he's trying to say is we have to know how to create, like Brother Kenya talking about, about creating a stock market, about massive production and creating it, like, do we have to do that in real time? You know what I'm saying? And that's the only way we're gonna survive, because right now, as it stands right now, we don't have as many choices in my book, you know what I'm saying, to be messing around and playing around. There are a lot of churches out there, but we know, you know what I'm saying, based upon what we have resources wise, what how much you have in your bank account, how much money you make from your business, if you're working for somebody, what all you can do. So you have to make the right choices. You got some more comments coming through. I think that came through already. You're right there.
Yeah. Definitely move your money around.
Yes, please. Thank you very much. This is a current stance. Cool. I mean, look, whatever you want and whatever you desire, you should be able to get that, right? And unfortunately, everybody don't operate in cash, so there are limitations you're putting on yourself, right? But there's so many ways you pay. You in crypto, cash, gold, what have you, right? We know the most popular thing is, I'm not gonna say cash, but they do a lot of things.
Direct deposit. That's the most popular way people
cash app and all that stuff. Yeah, stuff like that. So yeah, just do what you think is best, right? You just got to understand that out here right now, we have to just be balanced, you know, we have to be focused. So if you can find somebody who can do that, cool, but that's not always something that may happen. So, Cody, as far as I'm concerned, I enjoyed the discussion. I hope everybody enjoyed the discussion. Have any questions, you can leave in the chat before we leave or after the live. Leave a comment. You know, if it's something you want us to talk about, feel free. Cody and I love to talk about things that's productive and positive, and that's something we can bring to our community, because we gotta really do community building in the way like her and I are doing. You know, it's a lot of stuff we do on the benefit y'all don't even be knowing. You know what I'm saying? We were moving, shaking things or whatever, because it's not for everybody to know. And I hope y'all do that among each other, because we do these. When we start this platform, we try to bring people together. It wasn't just about running our mouth and this, that, and other. It was about really meeting real people. And I met a Cody by, you know, doing what I'm doing and by doing what she was doing. And we created a beautiful union. And we got to do that and keep doing it, because we got our young people got to worry about that. We got to encourage to follow in our path, right, or create a path for themselves.
That's right. And so in regards to the topic that we brought to the forefront today, my only advice to you would be diversify, move your money around. And if you are having an issue with the bank, file a complaint. Google how to file a complaint against the bank, because like I said, 9 times out of 10 in the small print of your contract, when you signed up for that checking or that savings account, they say you cannot sue us. We'll go to arbitration first. So that may be a way to resolve the issue. But in the meantime, in between time, if your money is tied up in the bank, in that one bank, how do you feed your family? How do you pay your house note? How do you pay your rent? So that's why I say move your money around. Do not have all your eggs in one basket. I just wanted to put that little nugget out there, and for you guys to start thinking about investing in other things such as gold and real estate. Do real estate, call me. I can help you. You know what I mean? I can help you with that. But and then we got Mr. Clive Lindsay, who's now part of News, Facts, and Comments and Major TV, and he's willing to help you as well, teach you how to invest in gold. So for me, that's what I say. Move your money around. Do not just leave it as cash. Convert it to something else, something meaningful that can sustain you and create generational wealth for your family, because the petrodollar is about to die.
And for Clive, you know, shout out to Clive Lindsay in the UK. When you invest in gold, you actually buying physical gold you can have yourself. That's right. Ain't no paper stocks and what have you. It's physical gold that you're gonna have, and you and only you is responsible for storing that gold where you want to store that gold at. And I'm gonna just say it like that. Right now, he's telling me with the States and Africa exporting outside Europe is kind of hard. He's trying to see how they can get it to us without us falling on different legal ramifications and taxes and stuff like that, getting over here in the States and what have you. But we're talking about physical gold. Stay tuned. We're gonna be coming through again. He'll probably be doing a video probably once. I'm trying to see if we're gonna do it once a month, twice a month. We definitely encourage our community to invest in gold, for real gold.
Yes. Yes.
So with that being said, any last thoughts and last words? I know you gave some strong nuggets, but any last words before we close?
My heart goes out to anybody who's struggling right now financially due to banks' illegalities. Do not let your voice go unheard. You know, file the complaint and stay on them. Don't just say, oh, well, and move on. Because guess what? If you keep saying that and the next person keeps saying that, they're never going to correct their bad behavior. And with that, you know, as usual, I love you all with the love of Yahuwah. And thank you for tuning in.
Again, I'm Mage with Major TV. You just heard of Cody Speaks. And we just want to thank y'all for watching and viewing this live. And this was a real conversation about banks stealing our money, you know, banks overreaching and what have you. And we need you all to become more aware and informed. And remember, there's somebody's always over somebody. So always go at the higher chain of command to get help. If one tell you no or have an attitude, try to talk to the manager. We got to resolve the things in our life to make the darkness become clear. That's why I always say that if you really want to make it in life, you have to be a problem solver. You have to figure things out, because things are thrown at you every day. But again, I want to thank you so much for everything. Y'all continue to support for Cody Speaks on YouTube, Major TV on YouTube, as well as newsfactsnc.net, our Black media platform. We doing the damn thing. We want y'all to know that we love y'all. So y'all stay focused, stay strong, and just be you. Peace.
Deuces.
One for the money, you know what it is. Two for the show, yeah, we shut it down. Three, just to make sure you ready. Four, let them know that we run this town. One for the money, you know what it is. Two for the show, yeah, we shut it down. Three, just to make sure you ready. Four, let them know that we run. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. You are now tuned in to the greatest. The greatest of all time. The greatest of all time. I'm gonna be better. I'm gonna be I'm gonna be better. I'm gonna be better. I'm gonna be better. I'm gonna be I'm gonna be better. I'm gonna be better. One for the money, you know what it is. Two for the show, yeah, we shut it down. Three, just to make sure you ready. Four, let them know that we run this town. One for the money, you know what it is. Two for the show, yeah, we shut it down. Three, just to make sure you